Did you know that by the time you finish watching this video, another person will be prescribed a sedative that silently erodes their memory? It happens every 66 seconds. But here is the uncomfortable truth. You do not suffer from insomnia because you are getting old. You are suffering because your brain is biologically starving. The pharmaceutical industry makes billions, keeping you in a state of chemical sedation rather than fixing the root deficiency. Stick around for number 3, because it is a nutrient millions of you are missing right now while taking dangerous pills instead. Before we dive into the list, let me tell you something most doctors won't. When you take Ambien, Xanax, or any sleeping pill, you're not actually sleeping. You're being chemically sedated. And there's a massive difference. Real sleep is when your brain actually does its job. It clears out waste, stores what you learned that day, fixes damage. Your brain is working hard while you rest. Sedation is different. The drug just knocks your brain offline. You're unconscious. But your brain isn't cleaning itself. It isn't repairing anything. You wake up and the toxic buildup is still there, getting worse night after night. According to research published in JAMA Neurology, long-term use of sedative hypnotics is linked to what neurologists call silent erosion. Your brain isn't screaming for help. It's quietly deteriorating. Memory circuits weaken. Cognitive reserves drain. And by the time you notice the fog, the forgetfulness, the confusion, the damage has been wreaking havoc for years. The pharmaceutical companies know this, but sleeping pills generate over $12 billion annually in the United States alone. So instead of addressing why your brain can't shut down naturally, they keep you dependent on chemical sedation that's accelerating the very cognitive decline you're terrified of. Here's what they're not telling you. Your insomnia isn't a sleeping pill deficiency. It's a deficiency of 8 specific biological raw materials your brain requires to transition into natural restorative sleep. And I'm going to walk you through every single one that's been quietly stolen from you. Number 8, vitamin E deficiency. If you wake up with a dry mouth, a pounding headache, and your partner complains about your snoring, you might think it's just annoying. But here's what's actually happening. Every time you stop breathing during the night, your brain is being starved of oxygen. And when oxygen finally rushes back in, it creates what's called oxidative stress. It's like a fire burning through your brain cells, damaging the delicate membranes that keep your neurons alive. This is where vitamin E becomes critical. Vitamin E is one of the most powerful antioxidants your brain has. It sits in the fatty membranes of your brain cells and acts like a shield, protecting them from the oxygen damage that happens when you have sleep apnea or severe snoring. Without enough vitamin E, those membranes start to break down. Your brain cells become vulnerable. Memory fades, focus disappears. According to a 2022 study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews, individuals with obstructive sleep apnea who supplemented with vitamin E showed significant improvements in sleep quality and reductions in oxidative brain damage markers. The researchers found that vitamin E helped protect the hippocampus, your brain's memory center, from the repeated oxygen drops that happen during apnea episodes. If you're waking up exhausted, foggy, or with that telltale headache, it's not just in your head. Your brain is literally gasping for protection. So how do you fix this? Start eating more nuts. Almonds and sunflower seeds are loaded with vitamin E. Just a handful a day can make a measurable difference. If you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor first. But for most people, getting more vitamin E from whole foods is one of the simplest ways to protect your brain while you sleep. Up next is a deficiency that affects your brain's ability to produce the very chemicals that help you fall asleep naturally. Number 7, B vitamin deficiency, especially B12 and B6. Before you reach for that bottle of melatonin at the drugstore, listen to this. Millions of people are taking synthetic melatonin every single night, thinking it's harmless because it's natural. But here's what nobody tells you. when you flood your system with external melatonin night after night. Your pineal gland, the tiny organ in your brain that produces melatonin naturally, starts to shrink and shut down production. You're creating a dependency on a supplement while your own sleep factory goes out of business. Here's the real issue. Your brain can't make melatonin without B6. This vitamin is the critical worker in the factory. It takes an amino acid called tryptophan, converts it into serotonin, and then transforms that serotonin into melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Without enough B6, this entire production line grinds to a halt, and B12 works alongside it, regulating your circadian rhythm, your body's internal 24-hour clock that controls when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. According to a 2023 study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, participants with low B12 levels experienced significantly more sleep disturbances, restless leg syndrome, and bizarre vivid dreams compared to those with adequate levels. The researchers found that B vitamin deficiencies disrupted the natural sleep-wake cycle at a neurological level. If you're sleeping but waking up exhausted, or if you're noticing tingling or numbness in your hands and feet, these are red flags. Your nerves are starving for B vitamins. So how do you fix this? Eat more animal liver, which is loaded with both B12 and B6. If you're vegetarian, nutritional yeast is an excellent source. But skip the melatonin gummies and let your brain do what it was designed to do. Up next is a mineral deficiency that's wreaking havoc on your ability to stay asleep through the night. Number 6, iron deficiency. If you've ever laid in bed at night feeling like there are ants crawling inside your bones, an unbearable urge to move your legs just to get relief, you know how maddening restless leg syndrome can be. You toss, you turn, you kick your partner, and you feel like you're losing your mind. So you go to the doctor, and what do they give you? Gabapentin, a powerful nerve drug that's supposed to calm your nerves. But here's what they're not checking first: your iron levels. Iron isn't just about preventing anemia. Your brain needs iron to produce dopamine, a neurotransmitter that controls movement and helps your muscles relax at night. When your iron stores drop too low, especially a protein called ferritin, your dopamine system crashes. Your legs become restless because your brain is literally starving for the mineral it needs to keep your nervous system calm. This is especially common in women, heavy periods, pregnancy. Even just not eating enough red meat can drain your iron reserves without you realizing it. According to a 2022 study published in Sleep Medicine, participants with ferritin levels below 50 experienced significantly worse restless leg syndrome and more severe insomnia compared to those with adequate iron stores. The researchers found that iron supplementation dramatically reduced symptoms within weeks. If this sounds like you, it's not just in your head. Your body is crying out for help. So what's the solution? Start eating more red meat, which has the most absorbable form of iron, or dark leafy greens like spinach. And here's the key: pair it with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers or citrus. Vitamin C helps your body actually absorb the iron instead of just passing it through. But the deficiency we're about to discuss next is even more widespread and can sabotage your sleep in ways you'd never expect. Number 5, omega-3 deficiency. If your head hits the pillow and your thoughts immediately start racing, replaying every conversation from the day, worrying about tomorrow, spinning faster and faster until you're wide awake at 2 a.m. This is for you. Your brain isn't just stressed, it's inflamed. And inflammation is keeping your brain locked in fight or flight mode, unable to shift into rest. Here's what's happening. Years of processed foods, fried oils, and chronic stress have turned your brain into an overheated engine. The cell membranes in your brain are stiff, rigid, unable to transmit calming signals properly. Think of it like trying to run a car engine without oil. Everything overheats, nothing flows smoothly, and the system starts to break down. This is where omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA, become critical. These fats make your brain cell membranes soft and flexible again. They reduce inflammation and help serotonin, your calming neurotransmitter, flow between neurons the way it's supposed to. Without enough omega-3, your brain stays hot, agitated, unable to cool down for sleep. According to a landmark 2014 study from Oxford University published in the Journal of Sleep Research. Children and adults with low DHA levels experienced significantly more sleep disturbances and took longer to fall asleep compared to those with adequate levels. The researchers found that omega-3 supplementation improved sleep quality within weeks by reducing brain inflammation. If this sounds familiar, your racing thoughts aren't a character flaw. Your brain is literally running too hot. Here's what you need to do. Add fatty fish to your diet. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, at least twice weekly. For those avoiding fish, algae oil supplements deliver the exact same DHA and EPA without the seafood. But the next deficiency on our list might be even more critical, and it's one that most doctors completely overlook. Number 4. Vitamin D deficiency. You probably think you're getting enough vitamin D from fortified milk or your daily multivitamin. But here's the reality. Over 42% of American adults are clinically deficient in vitamin D. And if you work indoors, live north of Atlanta, or have darker skin, that number jumps even higher. This isn't just a vitamin problem. Vitamin D is actually a steroid hormone that controls over 200 genes in your body, including the ones that regulate your sleep-wake cycle deep in your brainstem. Here's what most people don't realize. Vitamin D doesn't just support your bones. It's directly involved in producing the neurotransmitters that tell your brain when to sleep and when to wake up. When your levels drop below 30 nanograms per milliliter, your brain loses its ability to maintain a normal circadian rhythm. You end up exhausted during the day but wired at night, stuck in a pattern that no amount of caffeine or melatonin can fix. According to a 2023 study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, participants with vitamin D levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter experienced 63% more sleep disturbances and significantly reduced REM sleep compared to those with adequate levels. The researchers found that vitamin D directly influences the brain regions responsible for deep restorative sleep if you're constantly achy, yawning through your afternoons, but lying awake at midnight, staring at the ceiling. This is your wake-up call. It's not just in your head. Your body is starving for sunlight. The good news is, this is one of the easiest deficiencies to reverse. Step outside in direct morning sunlight for at least 15 minutes every day. Your skin will produce vitamin D naturally when exposed to UVB rays. And if you're supplementing, choose vitamin D3 paired with K2, while vitamin D alone helps. K2 ensures your body actually delivers that vitamin D to your bones and brain, instead of depositing it in your arteries where it doesn't belong. But the next deficiency is even more insidious because it's actively being depleted by the foods you eat every single day. Number 3. L-Theanine deficiency. This is the substance I mentioned at the beginning, the one millions of people are missing while reaching for prescription sedatives instead. And it comes from something so simple. Most people walk right past it every single day. Green tea. Here's the trap most people fall into. You drink coffee all morning to stay awake and focused. By mid-afternoon, you're jittery, anxious, overstimulated. So what do? You pour a glass of wine at night to calm down and force yourself to sleep. Then you wake up groggy, reach for more coffee, and the cycle repeats. It's a vicious loop that's destroying your natural sleep rhythm and leaving you dependent on stimulants and depressants just to function. L-theanine breaks that cycle. It's an amino acid found almost exclusively in tea leaves. And it works by increasing alpha brainwaves. These are the same brainwaves you produce during meditation, when you're calm, focused, and relaxed, but not sedated. L-theanine gives you the calming effect of drugs like Xanax or Valium without the grogginess. the dependency or the cognitive impairment. It actually counteracts the jittery side effects of caffeine while keeping you alert. According to a 2019 study published in the journal Nutrients, participants who took 200 milligrams of L-Theanine before bed experienced significantly improved sleep quality and felt more rested the next morning compared to placebo. Unlike sleeping pills, which force your brain offline, L-theanine helps your brain naturally transition into restorative sleep without that zombie hangover the next day. If you find yourself trapped in the caffeine-alcohol cycle, unable to relax without a drink or stay awake without another cup of coffee, this is your way out. And it's not just in your head. Your brain is literally missing the raw material it needs to calm itself down naturally. So how do you get more L-theanine? Drink high-quality green tea, especially matcha, which contains concentrated levels. Or take L-theanine supplements, typically 100 to 200 milligrams about an hour before bed. You'll notice the difference within days. The next deficiency might shock you because your body has zero ability to manufacture it internally, which means if you're not getting it from food, you're running on empty. Number 2, glycine deficiency. You keep your bedroom cold, you turn on the fan, you throw off the blankets, but you're still tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. Here's why. A cold room isn't enough if your internal organs are running hot. To sink into deep restorative sleep, your core body temperature needs to drop by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. And for most people struggling with insomnia, that's simply not happening. This is where glycine becomes critical. Glycine is a simple amino acid that acts like a thermostat for your body. It works by dilating the blood vessels in your hands and feet, allowing heat from your core to radiate outward and escape. Think of it like opening the vents in an overheating engine. Without enough glycine, your body stays locked in a state of internal heat retention. Your brain senses this warmth and refuses to initiate the sleep cascade because biologically, it thinks you're still in danger or too alert to rest. According to a 2015 study published in the journal Neuropsychopharmacology, participants who took 3 grams of glycine before bed fell asleep significantly faster, experienced deeper slow-wave sleep, and reported feeling more refreshed the next morning compared to placebo. The researchers found that glycine directly lowered core body temperature and improved sleep architecture without any sedative side effects. If you lie awake feeling uncomfortably warm even in a cool room, or if you wake up overheated in the middle of the night, this is your answer. It's not just in your head. Your body is missing the biological switch it needs to cool down and power off. So, how do you get more glycine? Drink bone broth regularly. The collagen in bones breaks down into glycine when slow cooked. Eat chicken skin, pork rinds, or gelatin-rich foods. Or take glycine powder directly, 3 grams about 30 minutes before bed. Number 1, magnesium deficiency. This is it. The most widespread nutritional deficiency in America, and the one that affects sleep more than any other. Over 75% of adults are deficient in magnesium. And here's the cruel irony. You can eat spinach, kale, and almonds every single day and still be deficient because modern industrial farming has stripped the soil of minerals. The vegetables your grandparents ate had 3 times the magnesium content of what you're buying at the grocery store today. Here's what magnesium does that nothing else can replicate. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system that tells your body it's safe to relax. Magnesium is the natural antagonist to cortisol, your stress hormone. When you're low on magnesium, your body stays locked in fight or flight mode. Your muscles stay tense, your heart rate stays elevated, your mind stays racing. And no amount of deep breathing or meditation can override a mineral deficiency. According to a 2021 study published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences, older adults with chronic insomnia who supplemented with 500 milligrams of magnesium daily experienced significantly longer sleep duration, improved sleep efficiency, and reduced early morning awakening compared to placebo. The researchers found that magnesium directly regulates GABA receptors in the brain. The same receptors targeted by prescription sedatives like Ambien, but without the dependency or cognitive impairment. But here's the critical part. Not all magnesium supplements are created equal. If you buy cheap magnesium oxide, the kind sold at most drugstores, you're wasting your money. It causes diarrhea, and your body absorbs almost none of it. You need magnesium glycinate, which is highly absorbable and calms the nervous system, or magnesium threonate, which actually crosses the blood-brain barrier and supports cognitive function. Take 300 to 500 milligrams about an hour before bed. Most people notice a difference within 3 to 5 days. Here's the truth that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know. These 8 deficiencies don't work in isolation. They work together as a system. Magnesium needs B6 to activate properly. Vitamin D needs K2 to reach your brain. Omega-3 enhances the absorption of everything else. When you address them as a cocktail, the results are exponential, not incremental. And here's the most empowering part. Your brain has an incredible ability to heal itself when you give it the raw materials it's been starving for. Neuroplasticity is real. I've seen patients who've been on Ambien for 20 years successfully taper off under medical supervision once they corrected these foundational deficiencies. The fog lifts, the memory returns, the natural sleep comes back. So here's your 7-day challenge. Start with magnesium glycinate and vitamin D, 3 with K2. Cut out blue light 2 hours before bed. Track how you feel, then come back and tell me what changed. And if you're currently taking a sleeping pill, comment below and tell me which one. I'll expose its side effects in the next video. Because you deserve to sleep naturally, not be sedated into submission. Don't let Big Pharma control your nights.